Hello and welcome to Lyra Nara. In this video we're going to discuss the relationship between proper nutrition and overall health. And this is especially important in times such as those where we are worried about the coronavirus, because one of the best defenses and one of the best things you can do to protect yourself is keep your immune system working properly, and food, nutrition is one of the main points to pay attention to. Before we do all that, short reminder, take advantage of our current sales actions and get some of the most powerful holistic health devices at amazing prices for a limited time only. Link in the description box below. Also, if you enjoy this type of content where we talk about holistic health solutions, please like, share and subscribe, and also hit the notifications button. Without further ado then, let's dive right in and learn more about nutrition and how it affects your whole health. So in the course of about 40 years of life, you consume about 42,000 meals, which is equivalent to about 21,000 tons. So over 10.5 million pounds of food. So do these quantities have eventually some effects on the human body? Well, let's find out. Nowadays, cardiovascular and respiratory diseases claim more lives than all other causes of death combined. Over 25 million people are affected by arthritis. Diabetes claims over 5 million people and ranks third as a cause of blindness in the US. Cancer has become so widespread despite the medical advancements that claim they have found a cure. So why do we struggle to resolve these problems? What guides us as humans? Progress in technology, a more comfortable life? Which are the trade-offs of these disrespectful choices we make because we want this comfortable life? Air pollution, water poisoning, dumping of toxic waste and potential resources recycling, diseases and poor life quality, as well as spiritual and mental alienation, stress and unhappiness. All of this is widespread nowadays due to our lifestyles. And in autopsies, you can see the huge amount of waste that accumulate in our organism. You can smell the foul odors, and you literally get stunned when you discover the clogged vessels and then decomposed and degenerated organs. And those are all very much in relationship with our lifestyle and especially with our nutrition, as we will find out. There is a direct relationship between the earth cleanliness, our foods, and human health. All is interconnected. And today, with more developed science, there is no reason to stumble over explanations, understandings, and concepts. We must eat the right food, and we must purify our bodies permanently and stay governed by nature's rules. And this is the eternal truth. The main accumulation points of the uneliminated wastes are primarily located in the digestive tract, or especially in your colon that suffers from eternal constipation, the stomach, the small intestine, and your liver. The average person has at all times about 10 pounds of uneliminated feces clogging up the colon and poisoning the blood and the whole body. Not only this uneliminated feces, but also mucus generated by undigested food clogs up your gastrointestinal tract. And this is the result of diets based on excessive protein consumption as well as fats and starchy foods. Every disease is an effort of the organism to solve its internal health problems, meaning it tries to eliminate a surplus of waste, mucus, toxins, uric acid, drugs, etc. that have been stored in the body for decades. And not the diseases, but the body has to be healed, cleansed, freed from waste and foreign matters, as well as toxins that have accumulated during an irrational consummatory life. Latent diseases are attempts of the body to eliminate waste, mucus and toxins. For example, a cold or influenza purges out a lot of mucus. Also, colds, flus, indigestions, diarrhea, palpitations, dizziness, anxiety, those are all examples of latent diseases where the body is trying to purge itself. Dissolved chemical poisons are being taken into the bloodstream, affecting the nervous system, so the central nervous system, causing extreme nervousness, dizziness, anxiety, depressions, and excessive heartbeats, as well as other strange sensations. And this blood flows then further to the kidneys, which of course try to filtrate more toxins such as albumin, uric acid, and bile excess. Toxins throughout the entire system are one of the most harmful factors that lower your vitality and endurance. And keep in mind, nobody has a perfectly clean colon. Every disease, no matter what name it has been given by medical science, is actually a type of constipation, a clogging up of the entire system of the human body. Any special symptom is therefore an extraordinary local constipation by more accumulated mucus at a particular place. Special accumulation zones are the tongue, the stomach, and the entire gastrointestinal tract. And this clogging process is due to the accumulated mucus derived from undigested and uneliminated, unnatural and unhealthy foods. You can create a formula for healthy life, and very simply put, it's your vitality equals your power minus the obstructions in your system. Power, of course, is the energy that drives the human machinery, which keeps us alive, gives us strength, endurance, also without food. And through the lungs we inhale pure qi, so air, and exhale dirty qi. The pure qi is mixed with the qi extracted from the food. And this combination of qi and nutrients is then distributed throughout the body for nourishment. Qi is also essential for helping the heart to distribute the qi to all other organs. O is the obstruction, the encumbrance, the foreign matters, the toxins, the mucus, all matters that obstruct the circulation and the function of our organs. And when this obstruction becomes higher than our power, the body will get sicker and sicker, and we can eventually die. The human engine is actually an air-gas engine constructed from a rubber-like, very elastic, spongy material that we call flesh and tissues. It functions like a pump system that is driven by air pressure, and it has also an inside circulation of liquids, of course, the blood, the lymph fluids, the saliva, etc. The pump are the lungs and not the heart, which is only the valve system. For over 400 years, medicine erroneously considered exactly the opposite to be the case, but nowadays we know better. The body faces also, of course, an atmospheric counterpressure, which is over 14 pounds on a square inch. And the organism functions automatically by inhaling air under the force of atmospheric pressure and expelling chemically changed air containing carbon dioxide due to the lung vacuum cavity that has been created. And this is your perpetual life power, the P, and you live as long as you breathe, of course. This is possible because the engines, or the lungs and all the other organs, are sponges and elastic, and have an intrinsic ability of vibration, expansion and contraction. The chemist Hensel experimentally demonstrated that this spongy elastic tissue is a matrix of lime-sugar combination. You can develop vitality and health through breathing correctly, therefore. The lungs also provide, through the process of respiration, an essential chemical, the carbon dioxide. You can have the right blood pH maintained constantly between 735 and 742, which is ideal, and you can have perfectly working blood vessels, thus a good circulation, only if you secure a 6.5% carbon dioxide concentration in your blood. And you can also remove the obstructions through higher air pressure. It is also possible to remove the obstructions due to foreign matters by local vibrations and detoxification. Alternatively, you can increase power artificially for a certain time at the expense of your vitality, however. You can imagine it like a rubber band that is permanently stretched, and eventually, of course, because it is permanently stretched, it will lose its elasticity. And you relieve diseases but slow down your vitality, especially of the spongy organs such as the lungs, the liver and the kidneys. So how can we decrease those obstructions that make us sick in the long term? Well, think about an engine. Would you attempt to clean an engine by continually operating it at higher speeds or shaking it? No, of course you wouldn't. You will flush the engine, change the oil, etc. in order to reduce obstruction, to reduce friction, and so the engine can have more vitality, and the same goes for our human organism. So here are some methods to decrease the obstructions. You can decrease the quantity of all types of foods that you consume to about 500 to 700 grams daily, and you can alternate with 2 to 10 days fasting on water. You can also decrease or stop completely the consumption of mucus-generating foods, so acidic foods, and increase the consumption of mucus-dissolving foods, and this will lead to a more unobstructed function of your lungs, the heart, your blood circulation, your whole organism. And your power is infinite, and this goes for everyone, but its activity slows down at the speed at which you accumulate obstructions as you keep on overeating the wrong types of food and diminishing thereby the counter pressure of the tissues. And it is worthless to increase power or vitality as long as the body is full of obstructions. How can you remove obstructions? Well, through intelligent, customized nutrition. And this is why so many diets and fasting and cures fail, because most people understand that they only have to eliminate the obstruction, the faster the better, and they will feel fine again. But the dissolving and the elimination process continues much deeper, and because they don't keep up with the customized intelligent nutrition, the obstructions come back again, and the subject will eventually feel worse, terribly weak, will fall back on the wrong type of diet, and will lose his or her faith in this type of solution, saying stuff like, I tried, but it did not work for me. Vitality does not depend primarily and directly upon food, but on the obstruction our lifestyle and food generates in our human engine. Vital energy, physical and mental efficiency, endurance, superior health, this all can be achieved by eliminating the obstructions, and this is beyond imagination. It is completely possible, but only in a clean body. And mucusless diet, the healing system, is the pathway to your highest vitality and perfect health, endurance, stamina, and mental brilliance. Let's gain also a better understanding of the body physiology in order to solve this problem. So the medical physiology taught today is fundamentally wrong in some ways and shows the following errors: the theory of blood circulation, the metabolism or change of matter, that high protein diets are beneficial, blood composition theories, and blood building theories. The correct blood circulation physiology is the following: the lungs are the motoric organs, so the pumps of the blood, and the heart is the engine's valve, meaning that the bloodstream drives the heart and not the heart drives the bloodstream. Proofs: as soon as you increase air pressure by increasing breathing, you speed up the circulation and the number of heartbeats. As soon as you take into blood circulation a stimulating poison, for example alcohol, you increase the speed of the heart, and thus the blood drives the heart and not the other way around. As soon as you take a nerve paralyzing poison, for example digitalis, you decrease the heartbeat, thus the blood drives the heart and not the other way around. Increased air pressure by climbing or a hill or exercising also increases the heartbeat and not the other way around. Metabolism also needs to be understood in order to figure out what is the right way of feeding yourself the good nutrition that gets rid of the obstructions. So metabolism, unfortunately, is the science of changing matter, and nowadays it's the most absurd and dangerous doctrine ever imposed on mankind. Modern metabolism theory is the most erroneous albumin theory, killing many lives in the Western world because it postulates that cells are continually used by the process of life and therefore they have to renew all the time and renew the cells. In order to renew the cells, the humans need proteins, or albumin, therefore the human engine cannot live for a minute without protein food. And this is a quote by a doctor. The error: the human body does not expel, bump up or use a single cell which is in a vital condition. A question for you. Does a cow drink milk to produce its own milk? How do millions of vegetarians survive without proteins? How can elephants, primates such as gorillas live on bananas, herbs and leaves? High protein food acts as a stimulation for a certain time. That is true. Decomposes, however, almost instantly in the human body where high enough temperature and oxygen exists. The products resulting from the meat digestion are purines, ammonia, lactic acid and uric acid, and even pus. And all of those are heavily poisoning metabolites of proteins. Life is based on matter changes in the meaning of physiological chemical transformation through which energy becomes free and the body can efficiently perform metabolic pathways and processes. Professor Chittenden found out through experiments that energy and endurance increases with less food, especially less proteins. Professor Hindedi proved that albumin is not a factor of vitality. It is a toxin due to its metabolites. And Hippocrates already said, the more you feed a sick person, the more you harm him. Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. In order to figure out the right nutrition, we have to also understand the blood, so the blood composition specifically. Ask yourself this: are the white cells of vital importance to protect and maintain life, to destroy germs and immunize the body against infections and fevers, etc.? Or are white cells exactly the opposite: waste, decayed, undigested and unused food and pathogenic mucus? Are these white cells maybe waste from undigested proteins and starchy foods? Because white cell numbers are increasing when you are sick, but they also increase during digestion in a healthy organism. There are two important facts that you need to know when you speak about blood. First, iron has a great importance and is a vital necessity in the human blood. Secondly, the presence of carbohydrates in the blood is an essential part of human hemoglobin and it has nourishing values. Do the following experiment. Next time you have a regular dinner with meat and starchy food, add a plate with the same food that you are eating for an imaginary guest. The next morning, empty this portion into a vessel, cook it for about 30 minutes at body temperature, so 37 to 38 degrees Celsius, and leave it overnight and see what the results will be the next morning. I can assure you, you will have an unpleasant surprise waiting for you. So blood building. The blood building in the human body involves all problems related to health and disease. Today you are taught that in order to build muscles you must eat muscles, to build proteins you must eat protein, and to build fat you must eat fat, you must intake iron to build hemoglobin, etc. This is far from the truth. Once the correct process of building blood starts, your obstructions will decrease and your vitality will significantly increase. There is also a very interesting discussion that we need to have about whether we are herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores. Because this will answer our question of which kinds of foods are made for us or are ideal for us. It is healthy to consume only those foods that match your anatomic, physiologic characteristic of your digestive tract. So let's analyze herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Dr. William C. Roberts, who has over 1,500 publications to his name and is a specialist in cardiology, said the following, quote, "Although most of us conduct our lives as omnivores, in that we eat flesh as well as vegetables and fruits, human beings have clearly the characteristics of herbivores, not carnivores, neither of omnivores." End quote. Carnivores, for example, have claws. Herbivores have hands and or hooves. Carnivores' teeth are sharp and those of herbivores are flat for grinding. Carnivores, their intestinal tract is very short, 3 times body length or thereabouts. That of herbivores is much longer, about 12 times the body length. Carnivores cool their blood and their body by panting, herbivores by sweating. Carnivores drink fluids by lapping, herbivores by sipping. Carnivores produce their own vitamin C, and herbivores, on the other hand, they need to intake the vitamin C from their nutrition, especially from plants, of course. The mouth and jaws anatomy is totally different, as you can see also from the picture on the right, between carnivores and herbivores. The herbivores chew food and mix it with saliva that contains digestive enzymes, and carnivores do not chew, just swallow the food, and in their saliva there are no digestive enzymes. The stomach volume of herbivores is 25% of the GI tract. For carnivores, it's about 60 to 70%. Also, the stomach acidity in carnivores is much higher compared with that of herbivores. The small intestine is also longer for herbivores than for carnivores and omnivores to digest the fiber and extract the vitamin C. And also vitamin A can be of 2 types. It can be preforms or retinol that is existent in meat, and provitamin A that is existent in plants. The preformed vitamin A cannot be detoxified from the liver of herbivores, therefore herbivores should consume no meat and consume only provit A from plants. Carnivores and omnivores develop arteriosclerosis. Herbivores never have this problem if they avoid meat consumption. Important is also to pay attention to the acidity of your food. Understand and remember that your constitutional encumbrances throughout the entire body are the sources of all diseases. They lower vitality and they make you have a lack of endurance. And all have their sources in the colon that has never been completely emptied and cleaned since your birth in many cases. So we all are constipated in some way. Thus, you can heal all diseases, avoid mucus accumulation, and rid your body of infections. So the mucus that has transformed into pus, and you will feel younger, have more stamina and endurance just by eating the right kinds of foods, alkaline foods or plant-based foods, and follow a mucusless or non-acidic diet. Fasting has been known and practiced for hundreds of years. We find it also in most religions, and it is a compensation for unhealthy nutrition. In Genesis, there are fruits, herbs, and green leaves that are recommended, for example, and the average man has not the slightest idea of what is necessary to eliminate those obstructions that have accumulated in the body, and how much time it requires and how often this must be performed. And keep in mind, diseases are the body's effort to eliminate waste, mucus and toxemias. Thus, holistic doctors must heal the body and not the diseases. Mucusless diet, for example, developed by Professor Arnold Ehret, is not a diet. It is a whole body regeneration with the result of perfect health. And here in the table on the right, you can see some of the acidic and alkaline foods. And of course, this is just to give you some general ideas of nutrition and to make you aware of the fact that it is very, very important for your overall health, for your immune system, for your vitality, your mental fitness, for everything in your life. So pay attention to your food. Of course, consult with a trusted nutritionist. You can also give us a call, and complete contact information is always in the description box below for you. And we will discuss with you in detail what is best for you. If you have any questions about any of the subjects discussed here, also, of course, contact us. And do not forget to take advantage of our current sales actions and get some of the most powerful holistic health devices at amazing prices. Link also in the description box below. Like, share and subscribe if you've enjoyed this presentation. Of course, it really helps us out. And until next time, stay healthy.